Now that you have your figure done, and hopefully you've added clothing to this so you can kind of get an idea. Remember, this is just a sketch. You're going to be taking this idea and you're going to be working on much larger paper next class. So what you're going to do now is you're going to use your iPad and you are going to research where are places that you would love to someday travel to. So I have printed out some images. So I would someday love to go to Alaska. So here's a picture of the Alaskan icebergs. And I would love to go to London one of these days. So I looked up London and I found this image of the Big Ben and a bridge and a double-decker, which I liked. And I would like to go to Paris. So there is the Eiffel Tower. And I would love to go to see the pyramids someday. So these are all places that I would love to go. What I suggest that you do is when you find an image of some place that you would like to go, take a screenshot of it and save it in your photos folder. That way, when you're ready, you can always pull it up and you'll have the image to look at for later, and you won't have to worry about, oh, what was that image that I saw again? So anything that you see that you think you might like to add, you can screenshot it. So now what you need to do, and you can do one place or you can do collage a bunch of places together. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. So here's my person, and I might back this up, or maybe I don't have to, I just need to shift it over. So here's my person flying, and I think I want to be flying over the pyramids. So I want to think about how am I going to kind of collage some of these things together. And so I think I am going to, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to work that one in, so I'm going to put that up there for right now. I like the idea of the pyramids, so I'm going to kind of create kind of that. And again, this is just a sketch, so I have kind of the pyramids coming down here, kind of getting the idea of the pyramids, and maybe I have some sand in the background, and looks like I have kind of some smaller, actually this goes up to the side, this kind of goes to the side, kind of going this direction. This is kind of flat in here. So you kind of get get a bit of the idea here. So, and then this is kind of coming down kind of in the front. So again, this is just a sketch. What you do want to put is the detail in, any details that you might like. So I have the pyramids here. So I've got that pyramids here, so I want to fly over the pyramids. Maybe I look up an image. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. And I'll do it later, but maybe I'm looking up image and maybe I have a couple camels here to show that it's kind of sandy, and maybe I'm traveling by camel. So I have a couple camels in the image. All right, so I have that one. And then, so maybe I decide that I also want to do, let's see, how can I get this in here? So maybe I have, in through here, maybe I create, I'm kind of just drawing out kind of that idea of the Big Ben clock. I can always add more details in my final drawing, so I'm not going to worry too much about details right about now, but I do want to get enough so that I know kind of what I'm doing. And then maybe, you know, this is Big Ben, and how am I going to show that this is Big Ben? So maybe the bridge is kind of coming across here. And maybe I could make this actually a little bit higher. And maybe I'm seeing kind of an arch. I might cut that off over there. I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't have to necessarily relate. You can cut it off. Maybe there's a way that you could blend these guys together. So here's kind of that bridge. Let's see. And then maybe in through here, maybe I have I don't know. I'm just trying to, maybe here's my double-decker bus that is going down the road here. And maybe there's some little people. So you get the idea, okay? So you have, so there's my pyramids. You know, obviously travel is important to me. So combining that, maybe, so I've got that. So maybe that's done. Now let's see, I might add Paris. So maybe Paris is off in the distance. So maybe Paris is like way back over here. And this is going to kind of come down. And you have like this little level here. And then this comes down even further. And then it kind of makes, looks like it's got like a little split here. So I'm kind of just continuing. And again, I can always add more detail later, but you get the idea. So now I have, you know, I have the Eiffel Tower here, which actually this looks like this should be way taller here, and maybe this should be up here. Because that doesn't really look like it's in proportion. But again, this is just your sketch. So all this stuff can be kind of tweaked later on. Maybe I bring this down here a little bit more. So who knows? You get to kind of plan that out. And maybe I don't have room for Alaska. And that's okay. And so maybe I add some camels in through here. Maybe maybe there's something over here where I'm putting in, I don't know, maybe I draw like my little suitcase that's going to pop up here, and to show that I'm like, this is my travel bag, so I'm traveling. I'm going to fly over this area. I'm not actually kind of liking that. I'm going to erase this. I think I'd prefer it just to be my images. So if I were to fly, where would you fly off to? Where do you dream of someday going? So that's going to be your next step. Your next step is going to be to put yourself flying over. Where would you love to go? And you can use any of the references that we have in the classroom, and obviously your iPad, to kind of show where it is that you would like to be. I do think I'm going to put a camel in here somewhere, because something is needed in this space. And a good way of knowing whether something's needed in that space is by taking a blank piece of paper. And if I put my paper over here, there's a lot to look at, right? It's pretty interesting. There's a lot to keep my eyes busy, but if I go over here, looking a little bland, not as much going on. So that will tell you that you need something over here. So you could also add, you could do clouds in the background. You could add your sun. You can do a plane flying, in the sky, farther away maybe. That's a bad plane. So I'm trying to draw too fast is what's happening. I'm not taking my time. So, you've got this plane and little passenger plane, something like that. The front of that plane looks a little bit like a duck, but you get the idea. So, where are you off to in your dream? Where would you love to go? So think about that. It could be outer space. It could be you hope to someday be able to zoom through the ocean, so you have an ocean scene. Whatever it is you choose to dream to go to, that is completely up to you. So have fun, and I look forward to seeing, where do you wish to someday go?